Hey guys, welcome to Madam.
And I'm Bruce, that's Clap Monday, and I still need your help. One more week with the stupid cast on.
We're doing great, yeah. So one of these days, we're gonna run out of things to suck. And when that happens, we'll shut the lights off and close this YouTube channel for good.
Yep.
And we'll play that one song by Semisonic.
Closing time.
It'd be very bittersweet.
Nobody gets that reference, though. Nobody listens to Semisonic for about 20 years. And even then, when they were popular, they didn't listen to it. Does Steam suck?
Hey!
Happy Monday, everybody. That much is directly asserted by games and tech journalist Rob Fahey, who threw an editorial on GamesIndustry.biz, challenges Valve on shortcomings with Steam, the PC's premier digital distribution platform.
In case you didn't know what it was. Yeah. Fahey's complaints center around the biggest problem with any online service. It's users. Specifically, Fahey laments that Steam is almost entirely unmoderated, and Valve makes pretty much zero effort to rein in any behavior on its platform that isn't outright illegal.
Yeah, the complete lack of moderation leads to what Fahey calls brigading, in which mobs of angry users flood store pages with negative comments and reviews. Right, Lawrence?
Yes. You know, he's British. They come up with cute terms for everything.
Brigading.
Brigading.
Aluminium.
The causes that prompt these reactionary lash-outs are pretty typical for the internet. Fahey lists the usual suspects: content updates that don't please the masses, liberal leanings on social media, or the audacity to be both a game developer and female.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
how dare
she? So what's the solution?
Just bomb the planet, dude.
Yeah, there really isn't one, is there?
You know how to get rid of cockroaches?
Fahey himself admits that community moderation is hard. It's really hard. As a result, Fahey suggests Valve staff up an entire community moderation division, citing the need for real, breathing, thinking human to counteract attempts by other humans to be unpleasant to one another.
He also draws the comparison to Riot Games, who did exactly that to counteract the growing toxicity in its own community, aka humans.
So what's the deal, Lawrence?
I don't know. The question is Steam really busted? Sort of. Fahey is correct in saying that Steam reviews and the Steam community can be reactionary and vicious. Seen a little bit of that. At the same time, I've also seen some pretty good Steam reviews for like games I never would have played.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of positive experience with the Steam community. There'll be some guy who plays some game that costs like $5, and he'll draw comparisons to these like 3-year-old Flash games on Newgrounds. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know a lot about this. There are a lot of pretty good and well-reasoned reviews on Steam. They're not all that great, but. So, I mean, isn't this just how the internet goes sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just human nature. People want a little gang violence now and then. So, at that point, Fahey's really arguing for Valve to keep people from being pointlessly mean every now and then.
Okay, sure.
Oh, my feelings.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to
I was
do.
like, welcome to my job for the last 10 years.
To be fair, it's not an unreasonable thing to ask. If people are going to be shitheads, you have every right to ask them to go be jackasses somewhere else. Amusingly, that much is still up for debate in some corners of the internet, actually.
But is it really Valve's responsibility to prevent people from being mean on their own service? That's where it can get a little sticky, depending on how philosophical you want to get about the implications of such a move, or whether or not you label such a practice as censorship.
Ooh, that's a dirty word. It also runs contrary to the practices that seem to have made Steam such a success in the first place. It's mostly open platform, curated and moderated by its own users, and it was a free market that got Steam to the place it is now.
Fahey acknowledges as much, recognizing that Steam took off by providing desperate PC gamers with an easy way to acquire games in an age when retail stores continued to reduce stock and shelf space for PC titles.
Right, so if market forces and the PC community help Steam to get to where it is now, why would it make sense to grab the reins and start to forcibly guide it at this point?
Ooh, I don't like the way you phrase that.
It's a good question.
Triggered.
Yeah.
Or to put it another way, and maybe a little less scary of a way, shouldn't we all just tolerate people being mean to each other if being hands-off caused Steam to succeed? Theoretically, harboring mob justice would hurt their bottom line in the end and prompt a reaction because it impacts their profits.
Right.
The thinking goes like this. A handful of games are buried by negative reviews. As a result, they sell extremely poorly. And other developers see that and choose not to sell their game on Steam for fear that an angry internet will immolate their sales out of spite.
Yeah.
Then Valve loses out on possible sales, chased away by droves of poorly written anger reviews, rage thumbs downs, and what have you. And then Valve has to be like, oh, we're losing money. Now we have to actually tackle this problem if it actually turns out that way.
Correct.
Right. Unfortunately, anecdotal information doesn't seem to support this version of events.
True.
Back in 2014, Game Industry crunched Steam data to see if they could find a statistical correlation between Metacritic scores, Steam rankings, and game ownership. While they're very meticulous in defining all the flaws in their analysis, they summarize that there is no strong evidence supporting a direct correlation between Metacritic scores, Steam Gauge rankings, and game ownership or playtime.
Okay, so supposing that there is no relation between sales and user reviews, what's the real problem here?
someone got upset or
Some people are being mean, other people getting their feelings hurt. Fahey asserts that Valve shouldn't need a commercial incentive to fix this problem. They should fix it because it's the right thing to do.
Hey, do the right thing.
He also speculates that a future generation of customers won't use the service when they find that games and creators they like are treated abysmally by this service. Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
That's quite
the long game there.
Sure. This discussion seems to echo larger philosophical debates across the internet, ranging from the policing of social media on Reddit to localization changes that are decried as outright censorship.
Yeah, basically put, do those that have the ability to moderate a community also have the responsibility to moderate that community?
Fahey says yes, because tacitly enabling and permitting abuse is really little better than engaging in harassment yourself.
Wow. We feel that we can speak to this because we have a community too.
We sure do.
And we've had to maintain them for 3 years or so about right now. For you, even longer.
A long time.
Yeah, so and in my opinion, I think you made a service that requires a community, you got to accept ownership of that. And as you get larger, your community gets larger, and therefore you get a lot more shitheads. So I think that it is Valve's responsibility, much like Riot, to start not policing them, but I think you said it best, which was give them the tools,
right,
to moderate, and then Valve kind of like you just let them go a little bit, but you give them the right tools to do it.
It's something that James always talks about with the gauge of success on something like YouTube. When you're getting all positive comments, you're probably not doing that well. Once the negativity starts coming in, it means you're reaching a broader audience. Because guess what? The further you go out, the more shitheads you're gonna find. So yeah, you're really not responsible for your community, at least what they're doing around you. What you, like you said, your best thing to do is just provide the tools and hope that they do the best with what they have. Because once you, as the head or the figurehead, try to step in, you will only have a mass riot on your hands. You never want to tell people what to do, let them decide, and just make sure they are well equipped to do so.
Lawrence, what about you?
I mostly agree with what you guys say. I think you were hitting a point really big, which is once you hit a certain cutoff of size, a certain amount of shittiness is just gonna happen because that's just how humans are. Call of Duty is a good example of that. The fucking Infinite Warfare trailer is getting blown up because Call of Duty kind of hit that tipping point.
Yeah, but if we keep hitting negative vote, it goes away.
No.
I still don't understand the mindset with that.
It's a dogpile, man. Everybody wants to be on the winning side, and when things tip like that, that's just human nature. So, sure, you can employ a whole staff of people to step in and stop it, but then that kind of, in a way, gives you a very kind of plastic, fake community. It doesn't seem real anymore because there's always a nanny there ready to slap somebody in the back of the head for doing something wrong. So, yeah, ideally, you give them the tools to police themselves. We've had a lot of success with that because we pick good moderators for our community. But you know, they're going to be dickwads. And also, what's the end game? You push them out of your community, they go to another one. They go to another one, they go to another one. And then they're just clustering on the deep web, trading child porn. I mean, it's not about rehabilitating part of the human race, but it's just about, I think, understanding that there's no ideal solution here, and there is no green pasture once you have enough people in a room together. Some of them are going to fight.
Lawrence, you wrote a really good sentence in this script. You said you lead by example, and I think that's kind of what we've been trying to do with Funhouse and Inside Gaming and all those communities. So tell us what you think in the comments.
It's gonna be all mean stuff.
Well, duh. It always is. We already knew that.
Yeah. They're like, look at those guys. They're ugly. Or, oh, why do they think they're so good looking? Which one is it?
Like I was saying before, it only looked like bad reviews happen, yes, but the openness also led to some very cool shit. Like every tiny game that no one would give a shit about actually has pretty well reasoned and pretty well written reviews for it. I was just up late, like digging through Steam Link and just going through like store pages and reading user reviews. There's a lot of very well written, very well thought out reviews on there for games that probably no journalist would dedicate the time to. And if this is the system that we're relying on to give us like educated and civilized discourse on games, it's kind of failing because there's too much out there. So relying on the community is working to a degree, and I think it kind of sucks to say that the system is broken just because some parts of it are not going so well.
Gabe Newell for president. Gabe Newell for president.
He doesn't want to be president.
Donald Trump for president.
Yeah, no.
Gabe Newell for president.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters. I forgot DragCon happened. And I was like, Dragon Con here? Really?
Where were you wrong?
Oh, so close.
Wait, speaking of DragCon, when does Eurovision start?
What's Eurovision?
You don't know Eurovision?
Is that the sex sax?
Come on, the gay people in Europe play, yeah, it's the saxophone thing. And then Conchita,
really?
come on.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's like, I need some trashy music.
And then like Slavic women show their titties. It's great.
Whoa!
I saw a sign for it's like neon paint show, but it was one of those just like yellow signs.